Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release a Legacy video every Friday. Hello everyone, Martin here back with another Legacy video. And before I go to the deck tech, I just want to shout out my newest member on the YouTube channel, username D. Thank you so much for your membership. It's a really big contribution to the channel, and if anyone else feels like becoming a member, which basically means that you support the channel, and you can, join up and leave whenever you want, all that sort of stuff. I'll leave a link in the video description of how to become a member. And if you don't feel like doing that, that's also completely fine. Yeah. Okay, that out of the way. I am today playing Grixis Delver, or Grixis Frog. I don't know. What should we call it? There is the card Delver of Secrets in here. And basically, I am a little bit in a holding pattern right now, I think. I don't want to go completely knees deep to innovate on Doomsday when it feels pretty obvious that there is a ban coming, if not more than one ban coming. Grief is not going to be long for this world. I just cannot imagine any scenario where it doesn't go, considering what WotC has said themselves, which is just kind of baffling. But that's another topic. I found this list in the 5.0 dumps, and I don't know that. I think I've made some sideboard alterations. I don't think I made any main deck alterations, and so just a heads up, the first three matches here are going to be like replays because I already played them. But I thought the deck was so much fun and the league was pretty interesting, so I decided to stop. And then I actually recorded the last two matches, so rounds 4 and 5, and so those will be sort of regular live recordings, as it were, whereas the first three are going to be me going through the replays. I hope that's still enjoyable. I hope you'll like that experience nonetheless. A couple words on the deck tech or on the deck list. This is a Psychic Frog deck. That's the reason to be in black. This card, yeah, expect people to be talking about this for a while. I would imagine as soon as Grief has gone, that people are going to probably be talking about if Psychic Frog is too good, if they aren't already talking about that. It is like a very exciting and good card. It's also the reason to only be on 3 lightning bolts and 2 unholy heats instead of 4 lightning bolts and maybe 1 heat, is that lightning bolt just lines up pretty horribly versus frog. As long as the opponent has 2 cards in hand, you can never really bolt a frog. So it kind of requires the opponent to play into it if you want to kill it. And that's also why we have, or one of the reasons to have, Molten Collapse. I apologize for this really weird art. I don't know, maybe I opened this in a chest or something. I don't remember buying this. Weird. But yeah, this is also a card that it kills frog and just has some all-around utility. So the person that the 5.0 had the spell bomb, which, no, actually I don't think they did. I think I added that. Because I had that from last I played Grixis Delver. This might be an overcorrection to have, especially when playing leagues, because there isn't that much blue-black Scaminator in leagues. So, but this is the reason that's the deck that this is here for. And yeah, I'm not sure what else. Like, I would ideally like to have more baubles than just the 2. So I think Spellbomb could be a bauble, and then I don't know if we need a Force of Negation, to be honest. I also feel like 1 Brazen Borrower is kind of cutting it close. But yeah, I don't know. I thought there was like one more thing I want. Oh yeah. Speaking of frog, I think it is. I've heard other people talk about this as well. I think it's pretty reasonable to expect there to be a near future where Grixis Delver is probably one of the better decks to play, if not the best deck to play, and where it becomes about like main deck Pyroblasts to kill frogs out of the mirror. you know, basically. Pyroblast also is pretty good versus Nadu, which incidentally also is like I think going to be playing a pretty big part going forward. The the caveat though is that another deck or another sort of macro archetype is the ancient tomb archetypes where Pyroblast has no text. So like there's a lot of buzz around Eldrazi right now, and I think there are like people are building different builds of that deck. There's also the Urza Post, whatever you want to call it, like Cloud Post with the Planar Nexus, the new land that is both a post and an Urza land of each type. So that sort of big mana deck where, like, I think those two decks and then Moonstompy or Goblins or whatever it ends up being, that's going to be a big enough part of the meta that I don't think you can just go ham on main deck Pyroblasts. I think it's going to be like maybe one, but that'll be interesting to see. But I think that's enough talking about the deck, and let's jump into round one. Okay, so here we are for round number one. On the draw, I get this hand, which I keep. It has frogs and removal, so it's a little bit poorly set up to fight against anything super unfair. But there's no way in the dark that I can mulligan this hand. My opponent, meanwhile, mulligans hard. They're down to 4 cards. They're even down to 3 cards. Yeah, I remember this. This is at this point I was certain I was facing Turbo Necro or Oops All Spells or something. So I didn't really know exactly how to sideboard, but I kind of hedged and boarded in I think I boarded in a Force of Negation. It's slipping my mind. That's the one unfortunate part about the replays here. All right, so game number 2. There was no game number 1, let's be honest. But I get this hand. I feel pretty good. It's versus a combo deck. I'm guessing to the mull to 3 and concede. But turns out that opponent is a Windswept Heath gamer. So there you go. So Mox Diamond discarding planes, getting like lands vibes here, but I guess it could be something else. Vexing Bauble. And I decide to Force of Will this, as I have both like a Mishra's Bauble and a Daze that are going to be and the Force of Will, so it feels like enough of a reason to force here. And I pitch the Ponder, which in hindsight I'm not sure if that was correct. But now I'm a little bit concerned because this is pretty obviously going to be a Wasteland deck. Mox Diamond and Wasteland pretty much always go together. And my mana base doesn't contain any basic lands, and I'm only holding this one Volcanic Island. So I see the top of their deck. It's Urza's Saga, which I'm pretty happy to have Wasteland there. So we pass. I draw for the Bauble. It's Dragon's Rage Channeler. That's also pretty good card. I just need to not get Wastelander right now. But they shuffle before drawing, so they don't even get the Saga. Oh, they have a stage. What's this? And they copy their forest. Interesting. I guess that makes sense, so I can't Wasteland it. I draw Force of Will. Pretty good. I feel pretty good here. As long as they don't just like drop a Dark Depths, but I even have that covered, right, with my Wasteland. So go to untap. I get another frog. I really, really need another land now. It's becoming a bit of a problem here. So just swing for 1. Still 2 card types away from Delirium. Even if I use the Wasteland, I wouldn't get there. So end of turn, they crop rotate. I snap off a Force of Will to get my Surveil. Also, just like it's good value here. I don't want them to get this or Dark Depths, I guess. There's a Lightning Bolt. Yeah, I put that in the graveyard. Unfortunately, not a creature or a sorcery, so I don't have Delirium yet. Yavimaya. Okay. And here we go. I draw Spellbomb. Well, at least it triggers Darcy. And I hold up my Wasteland here because I'm afraid of like Crop Rot into Dark Depths. Okay, I can put Delver of Secrets into the graveyard and Wait, why? Oh, okay, yeah, I still need a land. I hope I don't use my wasteland. I do use my wasteland. I guess like so. The decision there is: do you just keep like being next to no damage at all, or do you risk them having dark depths? And well, they have wasteland, so that's pretty punishing. I draw another wasteland, so that's good. But I think like if I play out my wasteland here, they waste my wasteland just to have, you know, um, to have the clear path to dark depths. But I don't win anything by sitting on my wasteland, except if they would like jump the gun and blow up my volcanic island. But if they are just patient, then like I'm not going to gain anything from having the wasteland in my hand. Because then if they do get to dark depths, they can just make it anyways. Okay, I draw a ponder here. That feels pretty big. We find another Delver. Just cannot find a black mana source. But there we go. Okay, 2 black mana sources. So I put Flooded Strand on top to draw it, and then I have the option to draw the second Underground Sea, or the second land being an Underground Sea. Oh, but they found Dark Depths. And yeah, this is like, I think I would at least like to have like another Brazen Borrower. I forget if I have that in the sideboard. Oh, neat. Here you can actually see what's been sided out. That I didn't know that from the thing. So I can't even see if if there is a second Brazen Borrower in the sideboard, but I do think there should be. Okay, so I fetch. They take this opportunity to make the Dark Depths, to play around Stifle, I guess. And I get an Underground Sea. I nuke my own graveyard to draw a card, and then for my DRC to not have Delirium, which I think in hindsight was a bit of a punt, because as I found out, like it might be a problem for me to actually have 3 cards in the graveyard to give Psychic Frog flying. But I was like trying to be clever here. So, and I draw a Surgical, and I think, yeah, what do I do here? I should, okay, so I play a Frog, and then I could Surgical and Daze the Surgical, pay for it to get 2 Surveil triggers. But I guess I don't remember doing that. Okay, I Surgical. I actually see my Brazen Borrower. I think if I had... No, I can't. So the problem is, even if I had done the Daze the Surgical play, because the Brazen Borrower, which is the card I need, is actually right on top, I have no way to recur it. If I had like put it into the graveyard, in order to be able to ensure that my Frog can fly next turn, then I'm just sort of, I'm gonna die anyways. Yeah. So 1-1. So let's go for the final game of this match. All right, on the play for the final match here in round 1, and let's see how we do. Pretty sure I keep this, and just hope that my fast DRC maybe into a Frog. I have a Wasteland to protect against Dark Depths, that I can sort of overwhelm them here. And we pass. I would have loved to have like Force of Will or Daze. So they have Flagstones of Trocare. I draw a Flooded Strand, and I decided to cast a Brainstorm rather than just tap out into the Frog. Underground Sea, we put that in the graveyard. I think that's a little bit risky, but okay. And just find more creatures here. So I put back Lightning Bolt in one of the DRCs, and I play a Ponder here. Not tempted to deploy second DRC, which would risk me like not having black mana. Wasteland, we already have one of those, so I put that on the bottom. Alright, Land surgical. I can't imagine I would keep this. So yeah, I do shuffle and I draw a second frog. So as long as I don't get Wastelander right now, that's pretty good. Unfortunately not Delirious. Need one more card type. Can't be creature or artifact in the cards I have at my disposal. Opponent plays Yavimaya and a Sylvan Safekeeper, and I think that's fine. Obviously means a Resolved Dark Depths I can't bounce, but we just have to make sure it doesn't come to that. Murktide Regent, that's pretty good. So I move into combat and decide to offer the trade here, which I feel confident they won't accept. I'm offering it because I have like so many spare threats. I play my Wasteland and I cast a frog. They draw for turn. It's not Dark Depths, it's not Wasteland, it's not Thespian Stage. So for the time being, I feel kind of safe. They have a red Elemental Blast for the frog. Okay. That does give me Delirium though. And they green Sun Zenith for X equals 1, so that they can nuke my graveyard now once the Elvish Reclaimer comes online by getting Bajuka Bog, if they should want to do that. Alright, we Mishra's Bauble, put a DRC into the graveyard off the Surveil, and I decide to cast a Ponder here. That's interesting. Surveil a Brainstorm into the graveyard. I find Force of Negation and a Scalding Tarn, and I think it was the Delver, the last card. I take the Tarn. I wonder what I do here. Okay, so I attack. I think I probably make a Murktide Regent here. I think I would at least do that in retrospect because my graveyard is going to be gone when the Reclaimer gets to untap, but we'll see. I get a Volcanic. Yeah, I do cash in on the Murktide, and I make it as big as I can, which is 7/7, and then I pop. I see they're going to draw a Thespian Stage, so I Wasteland the Yavimaya. That's interesting. Maybe just like trying to limit their resources here. I think that maybe that Wasteland would have been better, like in play. And they have Plow for Murktide, which is unfortunate. Kind of resets, like I suddenly have like what feels like no clock. Opponent is deploying their stage and making the attack here. They can use Reclaimer next turn, or on my end of turn, and get like sacrifice Flagstones and get Dark Depths and represent Merit Lodge, so it's not looking great. I drop Brainstorm. I decide to cast a DRC to max out on Surveils, I guess. And Consign to Memory. Yeah, I forgot to board that out. I remember I boarded it in when I thought it was a fast combo deck that maybe kills with Tendrils. And I forgot to board it out. I put that in the graveyard. And then Wasteland. So I keep that. Wasteland is pretty good. And now I have double Delirium. So I put back Volcanic and probably Frog? Yeah. And so float the Wasteland. And both of my creatures, or the one that's not summoning, say has to attack here. If they get Bajuka Bog, they can block. But they decide not to do it. They're going for Merit Lodge, I guess. Here it comes. I Wasteland the stage in response, so they're not going to be able to do any fast and loose things here. So Flagstones get Savannah, and they just get another Flagstones, and suddenly it's looking a little bit better. Another Reclaimer. There's a Dark Depths. Okay, so we're sort of back at square one here. But I mean, they are flying awfully close to the sun here, because I'm going to be smashing in and I have a frog to back it up with. And it's like they can't really afford to be getting Bajuka Bog if they also want the stage. So that Wasteland before was pretty clutch. Okay, I guess they are doing it now. They're activating Reclaimer. They do get Bog. Okay, so that means no stage quite yet. That also means they're going to eat one, at least, of my DRCs, but they don't do that. They definitely punted there. Maybe they had a change of heart after, like, we had gone past the blockers step. Okay, I play Frog. And now I just wish that they put something on the stack so that I can get some surveil action here. Which I think they do. Yeah, it's a knight. So I actually decided to daze this because it cuts some mana out and it gives me 2 surveil triggers. So first trigger resolves Volcanic Island that can go into the graveyard. This also means like I can get my frog flying. I put Force of Will there as well. Okay, but now they have a knight, which is a pretty scary proposition. My life total is fortunately pretty padded, but yeah, knight is going to be a problem. So they attack with Reclaimer. I decide to just take the 3, yeah. I drop down at 20. Okay, so here we go. Brazen Borrower, that's amazing. I decide to petty theft the knight that just came in. And I see a lightning bolt. So I can take that. Oh, I don't take that. Interesting. Because if I had left that on top, I could attack with the frog into, like, to draw it and have the extra burn factor. I get a ponder. I put that in the graveyard. And if they eat a land here, this is pretty awesome. Yeah, I think that, and I remember. So what they do, they eat a land with their Sylvan Safekeeper, which gives the Knight of the Reliquary Shroud. But what that does is it makes the Petty Theft fizzle, meaning that both the Petty Theft and Brazen Borrower go into the graveyard, which then in turn means that my DRCs become delirious. Yeah. So they use the Bajuga Bog because they want to save their knight from being bounced. Brazen Borrower fizzles, goes into the graveyard, and suddenly I have lethal. So just like that, it can happen. So I decide to go for it. They couldn't really have anything here because they don't have mana to activate the Reclaimer. So they're just dead. I make my frog a 3/4. I have 9 power in the air, and we want to know. All right, let's go for round number 2. All right, so on the play for round number 2, and I have to mulligan this hand, but I get a pretty nice hand on the first mulligan. I'm pretty sure I put away a Delver here. No, okay, I put away the Bauble. Yeah, I think that I actually like that more. That way we can like deploy a threat, have force, and still have like a ponder to keep playing. So I want to keep from them that I'm on black for as long as I want to. For years, there's been an Is It Delver deck. It's not really been in vogue for the last maybe 6 months or a year, but like not showing them, it's not a given that the third color is black, so there's no reason to get Underground Sea. And I have way more blue, like red spells. So anyways, play the Delver. We pass here. My opponent is on a Cloud Post strategy. Okay, cool. And they play a Vexing Bauble, which I let resolve, like forcing it and losing one of the other 2 cards when all, in quotation marks, this does right now at least, is to shut off the force in my hand. Just seems like unnecessary card disadvantage. We go to my turn. Delver flips off a Ponder, which is super duper, and I cast another, or one of the Ponders. I don't want the Flooded Strand, or especially the Force of Will. I shuffle, I get another Ponder. I imagine I play Delver here, Delver number 2. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm like digging for Wasteland here. I think Wasteland is probably the most important card once I have threats now. So we're about to have hopefully 2 flip Delvers, so that's mighty fast clock. Okay, they play a Cloud Post, so next turn they have access to 3 mana, at least. Mishra's Bauble unfortunately doesn't flip Delver, and it's extra annoying because it can't be, or it'll get countered if I play it because of the Vexing Bauble. Bauble on Bauble Hatred. Okay, so I cast a Ponder here off of Underground Sea in case I find DRC, which I do, and I actually like all of these cards. So I imagine I put Frog onto the bottom. Or no, maybe no, actually, yeah. I put Frog second from the top. I draw DRC, and then I play my Mishra's Bauble. I play out the DRC here post-combat. Then I play my Mishra's Bauble. It gets countered, but I still get the Surveil trigger, and I put the Frog in the graveyard. So I have both. I get an artifact and a creature, and that's sort of what I'm missing to get Delirium here. So there we go. Frog into the graveyard. I'm gonna flip off of Brainstorm, flip off the second Delver, and I suddenly have like 9 flying power next turn. But they do now have access to 4 mana, and it's gonna be 6-7 mana next turn. So a lot of mana over there. They Kozilek's Command, and their choices are that they scry 2 and draw a card, and I have to exile this DRC. This Kozilek's Command card is something I completely missed off Modern Horizons 3, and it's very relevant, especially versus Doomsday. I got blown out when my opponent Kozilek's commanded me and made me draw a card off of an empty library, but that's a story for another day. Okay, I lose my DRC. Unfortunate, but that was their turn, and I draw the Brainstorm. I guess I Brainstorm here. Good to get rid of the Force if I can. Drawing the 2 Wastelands is pretty okay. Unfortunately, I can't really use the 2 Forces on top of my deck, so I ponder, probably trying to shuffle those away. Yeah, I shuffle, draw Brainstorm. That's fine. The Wastelands are pretty big, though. It cuts the mana out from under them, and we have them on a pretty tight leash. If they draw like something like an Ancient Tomb here, it cuts the clock by a turn. Let's see. That's basic forest. Can they dig themselves out of this? Sowing Mycospawn. It's not kicked. This is also really like important creature going forward. This is going to see a lot of play, or it's already seeing a lot of play. So they get to just go for a land here, and I guess what it's the Glimmer Post to gain some life. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I still have a Wasteland for their other Cloud Post. Okay. So I Brainstorm. Oh, the Lightning Bolt is pretty big. Like, I think, honestly, I don't have that much experience playing Delver, but not having Lightning Bolt feels like you're really leaving wins on the table just versus the entire field. Like, so often, like, the way Delver was described to me when I first started playing, this was in 2012, was that, you're playing quote-unquote fair Magic, and you're trying to get a tempo advantage, which basically translates into you are trying to be as efficient as possible to just win before you would have lost. So basically, it's often it'll be a question of like a turn. Maybe that has changed. Maybe like the Delver gameplay is different now, and it more often becomes more sort of dominating victories or whatever. But having that reach, sometimes the Lightning Bolt is it quite often will be the difference between like a 2 or a 3 turn clock, or a 1 and a 2 turn clock. And I just really like having that. So I find Lightning Bolt. I put back Daze, I would imagine. And I guess no, I put back the Bolt. That's how very interesting. Well, I'm going to be drawing them, so I guess it's not that important whether I have it right now. And I would imagine I Wasteland their Cloud Post here. Oh. No, okay, that makes sense. Sorry. I missed my own, reasonable play here. I play a Delver, which is going to flip off of the Lightning Bolt. Okay. So they decide to cash in their Bauble, which is nice because now my Daze is on. And they lose their Cloud Post. And what's this? They have 3 mana. They Kozilek's Command, but I have the Daze. How about that? It also doesn't really matter, so maybe I was not supposed to even do that because I have the Bolt, and it's going to flip the Delver here. But look at this. Glacial Chasm. Okay, so now I feel pretty bad for not saving my Wasteland, but they don't have a lot of life to play with. So basically, yeah, if this has a cumulative upkeep of paying 2 life, and when it comes into place, they have to sack a land, but that it prevents all damage that would be dealt to them, and creatures can't attack. So suddenly I'm stopped in my tracks, and I do get kind of worried here because, like, I have all this damage, but I have nowhere to go with it. They pay their first Glacial Chasm upkeep, but then now they have an Echoing Deeps, which becomes a Glimmer Post, which gains them the 2 life they just paid. They have a second Vexing Bauble, which I assume they're just going to cash in. Because now the Glacial Chasm... I think actually I'm not supposed to play out the Frog here. I'm supposed to just keep open the Bolt in case a window opens up here, because now they have to pay 4 life or lose the Chasm. Yeah, they cash in their Bauble. They pay the 4 life. They're at 1. And another Glimmer Post takes them to 4, but now they have to pay 6 life next turn. Disruptor Flute, which probably names Lightning Bolt, yeah, because they knew that was there from the Delver flip. Force of Negation doesn't do anything here, and they Boseiju my red mana. I don't have any basic lands, but I don't have... Boseiju lets me find just whatever, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it lets me find anything with a basic land type. I'm not sure if that's the correct phrasing. But I pass. Now they have to pay 6 life or lose the Chasm. I can't cast my Lightning Bolt anyways. They have the Crop Rotation. The question is, do they have another, like, Echoing Deeps? No, they have a Tabernacle. So they are really giving me a run for my money here, but, I mean... Yeah, okay, so they concede. They drew, and then they just... If it would have to be Wasteland or something like one of these that could get a Wasteland, but they spent green mana to Crop Rotate. So, yeah, I have 2 mana. I can just pay for 2 Delvers, and I fly over and deal them 6. All right, off to game number 2. Okay, game number 2 rather. I wonder if I keep this. Yeah, and I debated a bit about myself whether or not to keep, like, what constellation of burn spells to keep in. Like, Unholy Keat feels a little bit meh against, like, the Myco spawn is always going to have gotten the value when it enters play. I do decide to keep this hand here. Opponent starts off with a Once Upon a Time, revealing a Cloud Post, which they play. No Pithing Needle on Wasteland, huh? I draw a land, that's really good. And I play my Delver, I would imagine. Yeah. And then I play a Bauble here. And then it's a question of, do I use the Bauble now in hopes of drawing a Force of Will to be able to, like, just have my guards up? Or do I use the Bauble on their turn targeting myself in order to, like, double the likelihood of a Delver flipping? I decide the latter. They have a Plow for my Delver, so it doesn't matter. Okay. And I forget to use my Bauble. Yeah, I should have done it there. On their turn. Okay. Wasteland seems reasonable, but now I'm, like, super duper worried about Glacial Chasm. Okay. Some good cards here. I'm pretty sure I want ideally all of these, but if not, then I would want Force of Will, then Frog, and then Lightning Bolt. Past me disagrees, and I draw the Frog. I guess no, yeah, that's right. I Bauble, so I can just, I'm going to draw the Force. And they are going to be drawing the One Ring. Okay, that's cool. Glad I have a Force of Will. Planar Nexus. So now they have 4 mana, which is exactly enough for the One Ring, which you can just never allow your opponent to have that. I exile Brainstorm, and I draw the Lightning Bolt. A little bit interested to see me do that. I would have thought maybe there was a better card, but okay. So we play the frog. I assume I wasteland the Nexus here. It's just too much of a liability if they also are on the Tron package, which I think they are. Okay, so Yavimaya, still just 3 mana. Crop rotation. Well, I can't stop it. Another Cloud Post. Okay, cool. 4 mana. Yikes. Sowing Myco spawn. Yeah, so that's the friend we talked about. And they get a 3rd, so a Cloud Post. So now they, like next turn, they're going to have 10 mana, which is a lot of mana. Double Lightning Bolt. Okay, I start off with a Ponder. I'm really looking for Wastelands here. I shuffled this, I believe. Yeah, okay. Brazen Borrower. Not exactly ideal here. I attack and offer, like, no, I guess I decide I want to ensure they can't block. So I exile 3 cards and I don't pump the friend, or do I? I just take my card, my value here, and it's a Delver. Okay. So let's play out the Delver and hope they only have 1 card in hand, so, but they have a ton of mana. Oh no. Here comes mana. Oh, it's another the One Ring, right? Okay. Well, I mean, we do have a lot of damage stacked up here with between the lightning bolts and the creatures in play. They're dealing damage to me right now. I don't flip because it's an underground sea, which is unfortunate. Like even Volcanic Island would like clearly have been better here, and I can't attack. They take 1 damage from the ring. They draw 2. Now they have 4, 8, 12, 13, 14 mana right now. And it's going to be like another, it's going to be 18 when they untap with the 4th Cloud Post. I have to just take this. I don't feel like, I guess I wouldn't have to. Like, yeah, I think I should be Unholy Heating this. But maybe I'm thinking like it's better to save it to pump the frog and just go for like a really big attack. I think our life total is somewhat okay. Okay, so I decide to just go all guns blazing here. So I cast the Brazen Borrower and hope to flip the Delver. I don't. I reveal another Delver. Okay, so we attack. I wonder if I pump the frog here. Yeah, I decide to discard the Delver and the Unholy Heat. So I deal 6 damage here. I draw a card. I have another 3, and the opponent is going to be taking 2. So effectively, they are on 6 right now. I play the DRC. I don't know that I agree with that. Okay, so they're at 9. They draw 3. They have unlimited mana. Karn. Okay, that's fine. Karn animates the ring. You have to wonder about that, right? Why doesn't Karn like get ensnaring bridge or something from the sideboard? Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense, I suppose. But they're gonna lose their Karn now, so they make the ring a creature and then they bounce it with Karakas. That's kind of cool. Okay, so now they're invulnerable, but their planeswalkers aren't. So they draw cards, they play a bauble. That doesn't really matter that much right now. Delver tries to flip for the 3rd time. And look at that. Price of Progress. Hello. Okay, so we have like a million times lethal now with the Price of Progress. We are at 9 life ourselves, and the pop is going to deal 6 as it stands. So let's attack the Karn with Frog and DRC, not Delver, right? Yeah, we keep back Delver so we can block if needs be. But look at this. I remember this. This was pretty sweet. So Frog still gets to draw if it deals combat damage to a Planeswalker, which it does. And I draw land. But my concern here is for crop rotation into Glacial Chasm. Alternatively, them just like like playing Glacial Chasm, because that obviously avoids the stack. But I pass into their turn, and then in their upkeep, I feel like saying, 'cause they saw the pop, right? That was off of the Delver, and I think I get really, like, I think first of all maybe I'm supposed to do it after they draw, because they can draw with the ring, but they could just do that anyways. Um, but yeah, so the thing is, if they have crop rotation and I lead, say, with a lightning bolt, then I can't pop, because if I pop, then it means I'm fetching down to 8. I have to get another volcanic island, and then we both die, and it's a draw. So I deduce that I have to lead with pop. They take 2 damage from the ring, or 1 damage rather. Okay, so I guess I did decide to wait, and then they decide to draw. Why don't I pop in response? I'm not sure what I'm thinking here. I think that was the time to pop. Or maybe I'm just like trying to wait here. Give them the chance. I would imagine I block here to not drop any lower. Yeah. Watching this over, I feel like I should have done everything in their upkeep, like instead of giving them the chance to draw Glacial Chasm. Okay. Or like, yeah, okay, never mind. So when you cast this spell, exile 2 target permanents. So it's no longer going to be about this, so they can exile my 2 creatures. And we get to end of turn, and this is where I decide to make my move. Wait, what? I'm doing things the exact opposite of what I said. Okay. I guess like if they crop rotate there, I'm just done, aren't I? Because then they have Glacial Chasm. I can't, for the reason I just mentioned, I can't do what I wanted to do. Yeah, I think I misplayed this, but just got lucky. So I decide to attack. No, okay, never mind. I think I'm just getting confused here. Obviously, I needed them to be where a lightning bolt kills them. That's the problem. That is the problemo. So yeah, okay, never mind. So now they're at 2. Now I price of progress, which they know I have. And they decide to make a giant Causalix command here to get us giant surveil. And they also choose that they create a bunch of those microspawn thingies. They put 9 cards on the bottom, and they draw 1. I don't keep 1 on top. I'm guessing that's the crop rotation. It's funny. I can hear my computer sort of struggling with the game elements here. The 10 Eldrazi spawns. Okay, price of progress on the stack. They have their crop rotation. And in response, we burn them out with the last lightning bolt, ending the game. Whereas now, price of progress also kills me if it resolves. Okay, they try. I don't know what they're trying for. Draw a card with their bauble, and they're dead. All right, cool. That was pretty cool. Okay, let's go to round number 3. Okay, round number 3 on the draw. I get a decent enough hand in the blind. I'm gonna keep. Would have been a pretty nice hand on the play. So we're up against Mountain and Petal. So probably Painter. Yeah, there's the Goblin Welder. I think this was a pretty crazy match, if I remember correctly. Okay, DRC. The old world 1 mana red creature versus the new world. Both 1/1s, both 1 mana. Very different. Both very powerful. Okay, Ursa Saga is potentially a problem. They have an engineer now, which I can't stop because they have the Petal. So, not looking too good here. They get to put an artifact into the graveyard, and they have an active welder, and they get Chaos Defiler, which is just going to be lights out. This basically, this basically vindicates an on-land every time it either dies or enters battlefield. So they can do this like twice a turn, basically. So I think I should have just stopped playing now, but I remember I kept playing for a couple of turns, just sort of being in disbelief of how insane that is. I have heard about that before. Okay, we cast a Brainstorm. We play another 1-mana creature, which is just going to die on my opponent's next turn. So I might as well just speed through this. They have the Saga. It's going to start pooping out constructs, so we're just dead every which way here. And there we go. They nuke my DRC. Yeah, I think like when I read this, I was like, okay, so when it enters, but it's also when it dies? Wait, what? Yeah, that's kind of what I felt. Like, okay. We cast a Ponder, Unholy Heat, and then concede. So fortunately, we have quite a few good tools to bring in out of the sideboard. There's a Null Rod, there are 2 Meltdowns. Price of Progress, maybe. By the way, if you can hear some birds chirping, that is because I'm in my vacation home and on my porch, and there is a lovely blackbird just staring at me from across the from the neighbors. Okay, so we have taken a game loss in game 1 here. So let's see if we get a good opening hand here. Yeah, I think this is very much acceptable. Wasteland is good because they are the Saga, like a Saga deck. And I decide to lead on DRC rather than Delver here. Which, even though I don't have Daze, I don't have Bobble, I don't really have anything, so I don't know. Draw Molten Collapse, that's kind of nice. And looks like what I attack with my DRC. I would imagine I play the Frog here, just into the very, very obvious Pyroblast. Okay, no, I play a Delver, maybe to try and lure out the Pyroblast. So they have Saga, which is going to meet an untimely end from my Wasteland. I flip Delver off of Bolt, and now they Pyroblast. So feeling good about myself for baiting the Pyroblast, because I mean they're Painter, right? They only play 1 blast. I play out my Psychic Frog here. I'm pretty sure it also eats a blast in the very near future, but yeah, what can you do? You gotta get through them, right? Yep, there's the second blast. My Frog is dead. They have Welder, but we have Bolt, and we are still not going to be delirious even with the Bolt here. We need to hit a sorcery or an artifact off of this Surveil. We hit a Brainstorm. Okay, never mind. I'm messing up here, of course, because I Molten Collapse, which is the sorcery. So actually hitting the Brainstorm is nice. It gives us Delirium. Welder is dead. And we can attack. Yeah, so I did that even though like I could have killed it with Bolt and not let them know I have the Molten Collapse. Yeah, Ancient Tomb when you're on the red Delver deck is often pretty nice. Okay, they have a Fable. And now I have the option. I'm definitely going to either bounce or burn out this Goblin Shaman. It's going to have the same effect if I bounce it. But bouncing it like plays into Red Blast. So let's see what I do on the end of turn. I guess I wait until their turn. Interesting. Let them think about their scrummage or whatever it's called when they activate the Fable here, or not activate when it triggers. Okay, I decide to cast Unholy Heat. I get my Surveil. It's a Force of Will, which I put into the graveyard. Yeah, Force of Will not so nice versus the million Red Blast deck. Okay, so they have another Saga, which potentially can go owie, but look at that, they're at 8 life already, and I have 6 damage next turn. Another Saga. Soul Guy Lantern. That's sad, because that means my DRC loses Delirium. could bolt here on my upkeep just to get the surveil, but I choose not to. I think I should have done that. Okay, so I bolt the shaman here. So when there's a meltdown, would you look at that? Currently not a lot of targets, but I do leave that on top. And okay, so they're down to 1 card in hand. And they decide to nuke my graveyard, even though the DRC is not delirious to begin with. Okay, so they are discarding 1 card to draw 1 card. And they're... What happened with the search? Oh, never mind. Yeah, they don't get to search with Saga till next turn. So they get Painter. Painter name's Blue. And they have a Reflection. I get Meltdown, and I decide to cash it in just to get the Surveil. It's just gonna like take 1 thing out here, which is a bit of a waste of a Meltdown, but I think it's the correct play to make here. Because they just have me killed as soon as this Saga gets to search for Grindstone. Wasteland into the graveyard, just trying to get back to the delirious ways. I could have no, I couldn't have wastelanded. Like, drawing the wasteland next turn is not going to be, probably not going to be very good. So they make a 1/1. They choose just to float mana and not make another 1/1. And they get, what do they get? They get Grindstone. And now they use their Fable to make a 3/3, and they attack me for 6. But I just, like, I'm so close here, I can smell it, right? They have Bolt. I decide to use my force here. I lose the Brazen Borrower, but it's worth it. Like, I'm actually gonna lose just to creature beatdown if I don't get to keep my DRC. So, you know, let's see here. Is their last card in hand a Blast? Another Meltdown. That's actually, yeah, it's okay, but I leave it on top. They didn't have a Blast. I mean, it is good. The Meltdown is good. It's gonna take out the Grindstone and their 2/2. I get another Surveil. DRC is just so cracked. It's just such an awesome Magic card. I leave Brainstorm on top because we like brainstorming. And I still can't attack here because I'm not delirious. And let's see. They find another Grindstone. That's on its own not too scary. So they only attack with 1 creature because they don't want to fall any lower on the swing back. Though I think maybe they were just supposed to attack because, I mean, that's a radical like advantage for them on and avoiding the 1 ping back is not worth it, I think. And if I get delirious, they can't block anyways. Okay, let's see here. So we have the Brainstorm coming. Hopefully that can get us something good and maybe even get delirious. If I can put something in the graveyard like a creature and then find like a lightning bolt, then it's just game over. I decide to keep the second Brainstorm that I find here. Okay, Psychic Frog. No? Oh yeah, Psychic Frog on top. Then I cast Brainstorm and Surveil it into the graveyard, and I have Delirium. And I get another look at Lightning Bolt, which I find. I just go for it here. There's no point in waiting. Gonna attack first, of course. And I burn them out in my second main. And that's it. Alright, so for sideboarding, I think I may have moved around some of the numbers, tweaked the numbers of dazes on the play versus on the draw, but nothing too critical. And we saw here the sideboard cards, you know, at least like pulling some weight. So on the draw here, I have to keep this hand, I think. Spellbomb can be pretty good. Like, they do have graveyard synergies for sure. Let's see. So they turn 1, just land Petal go. Like, my play here probably involves Delver, but it's going to get blasted. I don't know. I could also play out the Spellbomb. But no. Delver, it is. And there's a Saga, which is, you know, kind of scary. Ooh, Goblin Engineer. So Spellbomb will find a target. And there's Ensnaring Bridge. So Delver doesn't flip, draws a Wasteland. And I'm pretty sure okay, so I just heat the engineer, so there's no rush within the ensnaring bridge. They can't like get an ensnaring bridge in. It would have to involve like lava spur boots giving a welder or an engineer haste, and we're not there yet. So they can't like on the same turn. They need a creature that's not summoning sick basically to get an artifact from the graveyard. So I wasteland the Saga after having killed the engineer, and here we go. We pass. They have another pedal. A lot of mana now, 5 mana. Another engineer. Okay, so now like next turn, their graveyard is alive and well. They find Grindstone, and they have Painter. Now, I can't use this Meltdown yet, so that's a problem. Again, don't flip Delver. I wonder, like, I think if they have Pyroblast here, I think I probably just lose. I think I need the Spellbomb to resolve. I fetch a black source here, and I just fire it off, like, right away. Before their engineer gets, like, doesn't have something sickness and something can, like, mess up. I pay the 1 black to draw a card. And there we go. So Ensnaring Bridge is gone. Hopefully they don't have like another copy anywhere. I suppose Karn could actually play that, couldn't it? Karn can get a card you own that's in exile. Didn't think about that. Not sure if they play Karn. But I don't think they do. Okay, so Phyrexian Dragon Engine. So this usually is a creature that comes in to be welded in from the graveyard, because when it enters from your graveyard, you discard your hand, you draw 3 cards. As it is just in play right now, it's just a double striker, 2/2 double strike. So the beats are getting there. They attack with Painter. We have to just take it. Still no flip on the Delver. I hit a Mishra's Bauble, and I play my Frog. And I play the Bauble. I decide I want to look at them. They have a Great Furnace coming. So that's a land that if they get an artifact into the graveyard, they can start like flipping things with the engineer. It's also not clear to me if they ought to be, like, if they play the furnace here and lose their city. So I don't feel like losing the cards in my hand, so I'm not going to try and block with Frog. I need to discard 3 cards to not have Frog die from the double strike. And plus, if I do that, then this goes into the graveyard, and then they can swap their pedal to like discard their 2 cards and draw 3. So not ideal. There is the Great Furnace. They lose their city, and it's my turn. And I don't get to flip my Delver. I find another Delver. And I decide to play my land. Was that wise? Oh yeah, because of the Meltdown, maybe? Is that what I'm thinking here? Yeah, I think I made a bit of a punt here. This is like a good example of like my opponent is an experienced painter player, and I am not seeing what's actually just on the table for them to do. So I cast my Meltdown here, thinking, yay, I finally found the 4th land. Now I can Meltdown for 3. Hooray. What's going to happen is they're going to just sack their pedal for mana. Then they're going to flip. Wait, is that what happened? No. Maybe I'm like getting scenarios mixed up. I feel like I got versus this player. Let's see here. Okay, so they Pyroblast, targeting. Oh, never mind. Yeah. Okay, never mind. I just got my wires mixed here. They Pyroblast the Meltdown. So now I'm suddenly thinking, shit. That was my whole like game plan here. Was their last card in hand? Okay, so I don't attack here, which I think I should have done. And now they do the thing. They end of turn. Yeah, okay, I just got the moments messed up. So end of turn, they sack their pedal, and then they swap pedal for Chaos Defiler, or not Chaos Defiler, Dragon Engine, which means they can now untap, and then they can just like draw 3, which is pretty sick. They have a Grindstone, so if they ever find not if they ever find Painter, they have Painter. So yeah, things are not looking too good here. So they draw 3 by losing the Great Furnace. Now the only choke point for them is mana, but they get to draw 3 here. And they Fury targeting 1 and 3 here, and I think I decide to not lose my frog. So I discard the Delver in my hand, and I have to discard another card, and it's a Ponder, because I'm thinking I'm gonna need the Brazen Borrower to like bounce something, to bounce the Painter most likely. Okay, so getting close here, I draw a land, so I decide to exile 3 cards here from the graveyard to give the friend flying, and I'm gonna attack. And I wonder if I discard the Bloodstained Mire. I think I'm supposed to, but I don't do that. And draw Force of Will. So I play the Bloodstained Mire, I guess, to have the hardcast force. So if they have like an Ancient Tomb here, they are representing lethal. Actually, no, that's not right. They don't have it in the graveyard. They actually just have lethal here, but they have to tap out. Yeah, okay, so if I'm them here, okay, yeah, they just attack with both things. They deal me 5, I'm going to drop to 6. And yeah, I remember this opponent talking about missing a point of damage. I think they're supposed to also attack with the Engineer here, but they don't, because they're pretty obviously going to tap out. So no use for the Engineer to stay untapped on my turn. Yeah, so they're going to try and get me on my upkeep. And it would have worked, but I have the Brazen Borrower, and they have no mana, only 1 card in hand, so I'm going to bounce the Painter. But I am feeling like really under pressure here. They're at 16 life, and I am facing down like a significant attacker every turn. I find Lightning Bolt, and I remember tanking on this for a long time. So what do you do here? I think I ended up, well, let's see what I did. I don't want to talk about what I think I did and then for it to be something different. It took me just a very long time. So I decided to take the attack first, and I offered the trade of the Engineer, which I knew they weren't going to take. So I draw a card, and it's an Underground Sea, which is kind of useless. And so after like really taking a long time, we moved to their turn. Okay. I guess I decided it was more important to hold on to the Bolt in case they got back Painter and just try to go for it again. But yeah, now like they attack. If I don't, is this where I made my stand? Yeah. Okay. So I've felt like it was like very difficult to decide what to do here. I know they play Lightning Bolt, because I believe they Lightning Bolt something else earlier in the game. I forgot now where it was. So I feel like if I go to 2, this deals me 4, I go to 2, and they can just burn me out. And if I fetch, then I'm at 1, and it's just not good. So I think I decided I was going to bolt the Dragon Engine, which I do. And they swap it out to get the Great Furnace into play. That kind of makes sense. But I remain then at a somewhat healthy life total, and I'm going to fetch, I believe. Okay, they have a second Engineer. Yeah, I can't do anything about that. So, but they kind of have access to everything, right? They have a Painter in hand that I bounce there, but they get another Painter, so they have access to Painter at instant speed for 1 mana. But it's going to cost them their Grindstone. So like 1 more land next turn. They could activate Grindstone and then like Engineer in Painter. So I flash in the Brazen Borrower here, and Frog is a 3/4, but it can become a 5/6, which I'm guessing I do make it into here. Or I guess maybe not. Maybe I'm supposed to keep my Force of Will. Yeah. Because I can't make it lethal now, but it can be lethal next turn. Regardless. But so now they have two active engineers, and they have a grindstone in play and a painter in the yard. But they just play their painter. I decide to Force of Will, because if they just have like a soul land in hand, then I'm dead if this resolves. So that just gets countered. They use their engineer to get the dragon engine, and I guess discard 2 cards and draw 3. Yeah, they had Agatha's Soul Cauldron and a third painter. They draw land, or they play land, it's Urza's Saga. But now I have lethal, so they Fury. Wow, yeah, I remember this. Oh, this was just so insane. Okay, so Fury kills Frog. No, it can't kill Frog because I can discard a card. So, but it kills the Brazen Bee. And like I'm at 4. If I attack and I don't kill them, then I'm just dead. This game was so crazy. They attack me, I'm going to be at 3. Yeah, I remember this was when my opponent reminded me that they had missed a point of damage somewhere, so I could be at 2 right now. Ponder. So Ponder seems good. Let's cast the Ponder. And we find a DRC. Yeah. So I stack it so that I draw the DRC now. I play the DRC. Or rather, okay, so I give my Frog a counter, so it's 4/5. And then I attack with the Frog to draw the Hydroblast. And so I play DRC, which is Delirious. It's not going to matter, but just it's going to be a chump blocker. And then I think I kill one of the engineers here, just to give them less material on the board and 1 less activation. And I keep Molten Collapse on top. Not sure what I'm thinking that's going to do for me, but I mean the game is either going to be, I'm either going to win or lose right now. So they get to draw a card, and if it's like a lightning bolt, then I'm dead. So they attack. Oh yeah, never mind. So I have to block here because DRC. It would actually have been to my benefit if DRC had been a 1/1, because what happens here is DRC takes 2 from the first strike, and then the normal damage happens, and it kills their dragon engine, which means they can now file it in. So if they find like a Pyroblast on this draw 3 or a lightning bolt, then it's likely over. So, but they didn't, and they conceded, and that was an amazing game, I think. Right on. So 3-0, and I'm going to be jumping into the live games now. So I'll see you for round number 4. Okay, joining me here for the 2 live rounds. This is round number 4. I'm on the play, and yeah, this hand seems good. I'm gonna keep, and I'm going to play Scalding Tarn. There's a little bit of a downside to playing Scalding Tarn, which is that if my opponent plays like a turn 1 creature that I would want to Lightning Bolt, then having the Volcanic is better. Yeah, actually, I just changed my mind. It's like turn 1 creature versus like turn 1 Wasteland. Okay, that's not a Wasteland. It is a Pithing Needle, and this might name Wasteland. Excuse me. I'm not gonna. I could have dazed it, but I'd rather get the Frog. I can at a later point bounce the Needle if I need to, but I can also bounce the Merit Lodge, which is certainly what this deck that we're up against is going for. I'm gonna brainstorm now because I want to use my mana. Oh, there's a wasteland, huh? Do I just not? I think I just don't draw the wasteland. So now we have 2 frogs. I suppose I could just tap the Scalding Tarn for black if I wanted to draw the wasteland. Is that worth it, though? It's a really good question. Like, if nothing else than having the extra mana off the wasteland might not be bad. Okay, I'm actually gonna draw the wasteland. Well, there's a Thespian stage. So now, like, Dark Depths, they can just make Merilage. I think I just attack here and draw my card. And I don't think I play the second frog. I will play the DRC. Yeah, I want to keep open Brazen Bar or Petty Theft mana, just as an insurance. All right, they made their land drop and it wasn't Dark Depths, but now they can crop rotation. Elvish Spirit Guide on the hard cast. Yeah, I don't think I care much about that. Why? That's an odd play here. Do I bolt on my upkeep to get the surveil? I mean. Yeah, I think I do. I don't think there's another creature they would play. I mean, if they play a Reclaimer here, that would be annoying. Yeah, let's put the land in the graveyard. And let's go to the draw step. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to discard my Psychic Frog and my Ponder in hand to grow my Psychic Frog and also to give Delirium to my good friend here, the Dragon's Race Chandler. And I could fetch, and that would give me, like, if I needed to give a frog flying, I would not be able to do that without also, like, removing Delirium. So I think I am just gonna attack here with both creatures, and they can chump with the Spirit Guide, and that's still sort of a card, still card advantage, so to speak. If they drop Dark Depths now, the card that I, by some distance, am most worried about is what's it called? Legolas's Cheap Reflexes. Okay, so I'm gonna let this happen, and then what I'm gonna do is they're gonna get Dark Depths. They're gonna play it, I would assume, and if they have a Spirit Guide, they can make. Oh, yeah, no, this might have been a bit too. Oh, damn it. Yeah, so what my thoughts were, I wanted to bounce the Pithing Needle with Brazen Borrower right now. And then I wanted to untap and then Wasteland the Dark Depths or the stage. But the problem is, if they have another Elvish Spirit Guide in hand, they can just make Merilage in response, and I've just blown my Brazen Borrower. And if they have reflexes, then my force is not going to do anything. Yeah, I'm not sure I can really do a lot here, except hope and pray. Alright, well, I mean, it might still be fine. Okay, I'm gonna attack here, gonna send it. If I'm them, I probably just... I don't like try and get greedy and get a block here if I have the Spirit Guide. But it looks like that's what they're doing. Yeah, they had the Spirit Guide. Okay, so now they would need another Spirit Guide and Legolas's Reflexes. I believe that's a 1-mana spell. But let's see. Alright, I'm gonna Petty Theft the friend here. Not of this world. Okay. Like, fortunately, we can counter this. So I'm gonna Daze. Let's put Spellbomb into the graveyard. Okay, they concede. That was quite the layer of like disruption that I needed to make that happen. But Okay, so this is like a Dark Depths, Turbo Depths strategy, probably. I don't know. Whenever I play against those decks, I feel like they're playing like eight like Thoughtseize effects, and I didn't see one here, so I don't know if they're on another build or if it was just like randomly like that. I think the price of progress are going to be good. What is this? This is counters a triggered ability, so that doesn't really work. If you try to like quote unquote stifle the dark depths with zero counters on it, it just triggers again. Um, how graveyard synergistic are they? Could they be a Knight of the Reliquary deck? We didn't see white mana. They certainly, almost certainly, are a Elvish Reclaimer that deck, but hitting the graveyard doesn't really feel like that's what the game is about. So I think I'm just gonna board lightly here. I think Daze is a liability, even though it just was pretty great there. But I'm also on the draw, so I'm gonna board out 2 Dazes. I think I like the bolts and the heats are fine. They have enough creatures probably. They have at least 4 Reclaimers and potentially like Vampire Hexmage. Mm, I don't know. Like Hill Spellbomb doesn't seem great. Maybe like a Surgical Extraction on a Dark Depths would be kind of nice. Does Counterbalance pull any weight here? Probably not, right? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I should I should have like the Force of Negation in there. I'm not sure. Yeah, I can keep this for sure. All right. Opponent mulligans to 6. I don't know if this Turbo Depths deck plays Wasteland, um, or if it doesn't, like with the whole Pithing Needle on Wasteland. I could imagine it playing like a Ghost Quarter to get in order to take care of like Caracas or something. But okay, they have Leyline of the Void. Okay, that makes my Dragon's Rage Chandler a little bit sad here. But it also means they're on a mulligan to 5 effectively. Okay, Thoughtseize. Yeah. I suppose you probably take Force of Will or Delver of Secrets. That would be my guess at least. Yeah, they took the Force. Okay. Love to draw a land. I think I'm actually going to play on the play on them not having Wasteland, like bang, like sort of take my bet that they don't, because if I get Wasteland right now, it's obviously terrible. Pithing Needle. Okay, I guess that's gonna name Wasteland. And I just drew a instant, so I feel like I probably am gonna draw a land or a creature now. Yep, there's a land. It's another volcanic. Um, I think. So what do I want here? So drawing Psychic Frog is probably my best bet here. I would also like to draw a Force of Will, and I would also like to set up Delver here. I'm gonna, just for the selection, I'm gonna play Dragon's Race Chandler. I'll take a Brainstorm, I guess. Well, maybe that's a mistake, because like I already have cantrip effects. Oh, what's this? Is this Bowmasters? Oh, it's Crop Rotation. Okay. Yeah, that's clever. They do that now. So, um, I mean, I'm gonna draw the sea now, and then flip Delver with Brainstorm, and we'll take it from there. If their last card in hand is Dark Depths, or a way to get to that, that's pretty good. It was Dark Depths. Okay, well at least we can chump block with Delver for one more turn. But I am sort of drawing a little bit like thin here. Okay, I'm gonna Brainstorm first, and I'm gonna surveil the land into the wasteland, into the void here. Let's see if we can get lucky with our Brazen Borrower. Gross. Okay. I mean, if they have a way to get to Sajuri step, then they can just you know, kill me next turn. Let's see. Ponder. Force of negation into the void. I'm gonna shuffle these. I draw a pop, which is not gonna. That's gonna be like a day late and a dollar short. So I could bolt them to 13 and then, like, yeah, because of what they're gonna do, they're gonna actually be 2 lands down next turn. So yeah, that's not too exciting. Okay, Molten Collapse. What does it say? Destroy target creature. Yeah, that's also not going to do it. Do I take the Brainstorm and then the Shuffle with the Flooded Strand? I think I probably do. Okay. I'm gonna put Flooded Strand in my hand to not have it discarded. And I will pass. Yeah, only having one actual answer to a Resolved Mirror Lage is a little bit rough. I was not planning for this matchup, I guess. And let's see if they also have the Sajiri step to get it through my Delver. Merit Lodge attacks. Insectile Aberration makes a Valiant Sacrifice. Another Dark Depths. Okay. Alright, let's shuffle here. And let's cast. We can't even get another flyer to block here. Like, my frog can't get flying because of the ley line. Let's get rid of Murktide Regent. And that is it. Alright. Off to sideboard. Let's see if. I don't think I really have, honestly, like, a lot to bring in here. Would anything in my sideboard have mattered? Probably not. I think counter magic is honestly pretty good. Maybe we want the 2 dazes in over the 2 unholy heat, or like unholy heat and molten collapse also just seems. I guess molten collapse killing pithing needle is like means it's better. Okay, let's see. Let's get a good one, please. That's not a good one. I'm gonna mulligan this. Yeah, this is fine. So I'm gonna. I can't play the Psychic Frog currently, but I still think I'm gonna bottom a Ponder, and I'm just gonna really, really hope I can avoid them resolving a Pithing Needle here. I'm actually gonna Ponder. I'm gonna Ponder off of Volcanic Island. Like, if I ended up having to shuffle or whatever, I would rather have like one Volcanic Island than one Underground Sea. But I do get luckier, and they also no Leyline of the Void. That's nice. Okay, I'll probably draw Ponder to have it to pitch to force if I need to. But the concern obviously is that they are able to go Thoughtseize, take my Force of Will, and then they can just resolve a Pithing Needle on a later turn. That didn't happen. Okay. So I'm gonna cast the Psychic Frog now. And I'm gonna pass. If they like crop rotate or something, I'm gonna force it. Snap force. I think so anyways. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Although I do have the 2 wastelands. Maybe that's a wrong play. Because if they hit the Pithing Needle now, like, I'm just shit out of luck. That's something that can get a basic land. which I'm guessing is going to happen. Sylvan Scrying, okay. Pitching a Spirit Guide. Man, free mana in this game is just so broken. Especially ones you can't really interact with. I don't think there is a way to interact with Elvish, with the Spirit Guides. Because it's a mana ability, so it can't be stifled. Okay. There is Dark Depths. So I'm going to start by attacking here. Getting my card draw on. Would like to draw Force of Will. I'll take Force of Negation. And I'm just going to float my Wasteland. If they have the Pithing Needle, they're going to have it anyways. And this makes them, like, I think it's correct to not waste the Bayou here. Vampire Hexmage. Well, shit. Yeah. That means they just have 2020 next turn. Unless I can actually draw a removal spell. Damn. And I boarded out two of my own, like my two Unholy Heats. What's the play here? I think I can just attack here. They can't block with the Hexmage. Because then I just discard a card and I kill it. So I can start by drawing a card. And if this card isn't good, well, damn. Ponder, okay. I'll take it. I'm not going to play DRC because I want to be able to ponder into like a lightning bolt, of which I have 3. And I can't do that if I have used my red mana. Oh, damn. Is there any wiggle room out of this? I could start shredding through the deck with the DRC. No, I don't think. I think I need to shuffle these. Force of Will. Okay. I'm going to cast DRC now. And I am going to wasteland this this Bayou. I think do I play the wasteland? Not sure it really matters. So we can survive for like 1 or 2 turns with like chump blocking here, so I'm gonna play the wasteland. Oh wait, hang on. Am I just getting this all wrong? Yeah, hang on. I can just wasteland in response. What the heck am I so upset about? Yeah. That's not gonna happen, friend. Alright. Force of negation. Hopefully they can't counter this somehow. Yeah, let's put this Delver into the graveyard. We'll have Delirium. Maybe I should have pitched Murktide in case they have second Needle, and I can draw a blue card. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I convinced myself that Vampire Hexmage got around Wasteland. Okay. That's not Dark Depths. What's the play here? I think probably it's like make a Murktide and then, yeah, I don't know. Can I exile 3 things and not lose Delirium to give Frog? I guess I just attack with a Frog again like I did last turn, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Same logic. And I think I actually do discard a Murktide. Get an extra point of damage in. Not going to use the extra Murktide. Let's draw a card. Okay, so they have things they want to do right now. Is this crop rotation? Like crop rotation for Ghost Quarter, for instance, would be really good. Yeah, let's see. They could also have something like, yeah, they had the Ghost Quarter. I was going to say something like, I don't know, some other utility land. Okay, so now they do get to make their friendo. Is there something to be gained for me by playing this Murktide right now? So I have 2 instants and 2 sorceries. if I remove all of them, then DRC is no longer delirious, which I probably want because I don't want for it to have to attack into the thing. So let's get rid of those. And we'll take the wasteland, I guess. Alright, so I mean, if they just attack, yeah, this dies. If they just attack, like, if they make Merit Lodge, and then next turn they attack, I can give my frog flying, and then I at least have some number of, oh, not making it right now is risky. If I just, like, draw a wasteland here, they have to make it now. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Okay, so I draw Force of Will. That's not terribly exciting. Okay, let's see. If I somehow can get them to attack, or rather to play a spell before they attack, I get a little bit more agency over what I'm going to discard, because I'm going to counter it, or not discard, but exile from the graveyard. But yeah, the best thing they could do right now is just basically not do anything. Okay, they attack. And... oh, fuck! Oh no! I clicked too far, and now I am forced to use my Murktide to block. Oh, that's lame. Okay. Yeah, yeah, damn. I was supposed to, like, get 3 things out of the graveyard, and give the frog flying. Oh well. So now we're back to needing to draw the one of petty theft. I guess a second frog is nice enough. I think I just attack with both creatures here. I draw my card. And there's a brainstorm. I don't think I risk casting the brainstorm here, do I? I must ultimately, completely must draw a land I have in the top 4 cards, or I'm just instantly dead. I think I'd rather just make my friend here and be ready to block. They are at 8 life. If I could somehow get delirious, then I would just need, I would need to discard 3 things. And I guess right now what we need is 2 card types in the graveyard. Okay, so they're attacking. I need to do this at the right time. Okay. Exile 3 things. I'm exile 2 of my 3 creatures and 1 of the 2 lands, so I don't lose any card types. So now my frog here has flying. It's gonna block. There's a Thespian stage. Okay. Flooded Strand. Alright. Big brainstorm coming up here. I need to find, like, something that burns, probably. Yes! Okay, does that do it? Let's see. So I'm gonna put that on top. And, not sure if it's good enough. So I think I'll put back Wasteland and Daze. And then I'll fetch with the Flooded Strand. Or do I even need to do that? Hang on. So Bolt takes them to 5. I have 3 power. That takes them to 2. So if I discard... like, it's really risky if I discard... like, because I'd have to discard Force and Flooded Strand, for instance. Alright, hang on. Wasteland... and... oh, I don't know. I think what we can do is we can dump all but Force of Will, or like all but Daze. We'll put, okay, here's what I do. Sorry, I'm just rambling here. I'm gonna put back Wasteland and Force of Will. No, Wasteland and Daze. And I'm going to discard cards here. Yeah, so this deals in 5. I get to draw, so I have a blue card to pitch to Force. And I'm going to in their upkeep. Does that matter? Probably doesn't, but I'm also just going to do it in their upkeep anyways. And I have force now, in case they have something that could interact with us. It would need to have split second or some other way to help them here. Yes, we got there. Wow. Cool, cool, cool. Wow, sorry, that took me way longer than it needed to, I think. All right, cool. 4-0. How about that? Let's jump into round number 3. Sorry, round number 5. Right on the play for round number 5. This is the trophy match. Let's see how we do. Oh, I have to mulligan this. And let's keep this. I'll keep it, and I'll bottom the Ponder. Because I kind of like where this hand is at right now. I'm going to lead off with Delver. If your opponent like wastelands you when they're on the draw and you already have a threat in play, then that's sort of okay. And if they don't, then we have a pretty interactive hand. We can play Frog next turn. Let's see if this is a tempo mirror. Scalding Tarn says maybe. Underground Sea, okay. Grief. Okay, so we're up against the boogeyman of the format, and they pitched an Animate Dead. So they're going to take, I would assume, my Force of Will here. Unless they have like a Reanimate and a Daze right now, they can just take the Frog. They might also even want to animate the Frog rather than their own Grief. Okay, so they took the Frog. And fuck me, right? They just also have the Daze. They had the Daze, to no one's surprise, so they made the correct play here. And now I can never attack with my Delver. Delver flips Revealing Ponder. Okay. So let's cast the Ponder, I guess. It's a Lightning Bolt that doesn't really do a lot, and I'd be forced to drawing another land, which I don't really like. So there's a world where they attack with Frog, we block with Delver. They have to like discard 2 cards for Frog not to die. And then we could bolt them out. I like bolt out the Frog, but I like all my resources are gone by then. Yeah, I think maybe I try for that. I don't know. They're at least gonna get like 1 draw from the Frog. I think they're completely safe to attack right now when I'm tapped out and they know 2 of the 3 cards in my hand. There's nothing I could really have, so yeah, that's what they're gonna do. I'm not gonna block. They draw their card. And now I can no longer even do the thing. They have one card too many. But let's see. We'll see what they do. And pass. Yeah, I think I was actually probably supposed to attack there because unless they like dump 2 cards out of their hand, which I'm not sure what it would be, then I have no good blocks. Let's just go through this again. I block. They discard 2 cards. They're down to 4 cards in hand. Their Psychic Frog has 4 toughness. It takes 3 damage, so it has 1 remaining sort of surviving toughness. And if I suppose they would even need to be on 2 cards fewer. Yeah, okay. I think I just miscalculated. I should have just been attacking last turn. Yeah, that was a 3 damage, which may have been, crucial. Here's some mana. There's another Frog. Yeah, GG's. Okay, so I think I need to like pack my Graveyard Hate. So let's see here. We have the Hearse, we have the Cage, and we have a Surgical. Maybe the Surgical is too weak. I don't know. I think Price of Progress, maybe, like maybe one of them. I don't know though, because they're a color fewer than us, and they certainly are playing like basics. I want the red blasts here for sure, and I think counterbalance. They are still like a brainstorm, ponder, reanimate, like lots of one drop deck. So this is 8 cards. What don't we want? Also, I'm not sure about the Pyroblast. Like, we saw they had Frog, and this is going to be about Frog. But Pyroblast is having 0 text against Troll, against Reanimate, against Entomb, against Grief is a little bit annoying. So maybe we're supposed to only bring in 2 of those. I think I don't want all forces for sure. We're kind of pre-boarded with the one Hill Spellbomb, so maybe Surgical is a card we can go without. Like, I can just see them like griefing my Surgical and then YOLO. Do I want any forces? Maybe I don't. I also happen to think Brazen Borrower is kind of weak. So let's try this. Maybe the Price of Progress is also just not good enough. Let's see if they make any kind of pivot out of the reanimate plan. Wow. 4 brainstorms. Okay, I'm gonna keep and lead on my Nihil Spellbomb. Opponent kept 7 as well. Let's see how we go. Oof, Wasteland. Well, it's do or die time now. I need to draw land. Land. Oh no. Okay. Well, this is Legacy. Swim with the sharks. Okay. They can ponder. My whole house of cards right now being held up by this one Hill Spellbomb. My last line of defense. They don't shuffle. Oh, come on. Please, deck. Please. A land. Please. And not a wasteland. And what do we have here? Just like frog. Okay. There's a grief. I can do nothing. They pitched a troll. I think this art is pretty cool. So I think if I'm them, I might take Daze here. Just because eventually I might draw a red source and then Daze is okay. I don't know. Like if they have, for some weird reason, surgical extraction here, it's all obviously the max punish. I suppose if that happens, I can spellbomb my own graveyard. And then I think surgical fizzles. Yeah, they take the Daze. Yep, there's the frog. Froggity frog. This is a very disappointing way to finish the league. I feel like I've already lost. But I mean, I kept a one-lander against the Wasteland deck, and sometimes you just lose to a single Wasteland. Okay, I'm gonna pop the bottle in their upkeep and see what they're drawing. They're drawing an Underground Sea. I'm so jealous. And I need so much to be able to remove this frog, outside of a Pyroblast. Maybe I should have just identified that. Like, I left one Pyroblast in the sideboard, and maybe that's just unforgivable because this is unbeatable if it gets to remain in play. So strong, like Dreadhorde Arcanist vibes. Like you're just falling behind. Yep. No shuffle. Probably a second frog. Bowmasters, that's also pretty good. But not nearly as scary. And I draw another of my graveyard hate pieces. Tauntingly so. What's my draw step? It's a land? Yeah, but it's a wasteland. Alright. GG's opponent. Never ever coming back from this. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Well, I mean, that was obviously a little bit of a letdown for me. Disappointed to lose the trophy round and then the way I did, but that's also just Magic and Legacy, and I don't even know, like, I can like get salty and be like, oh, you know, ban grief and all that sort of stuff. And while I do think that it's pretty obvious that something needs to happen, I don't really feel like this one match necessarily indicates like one thing or another. In terms of like Grixis Delver versus Demir tempo, Scaminator or whatever. But maybe it does, and maybe it's just, you know, I brought a knife to a gunfight or something, and I guess it played out. Um, but I don't know. It's just what I'm saying. I haven't played the matchup, and the second game, I feel like I mean, I don't know. I mean, you saw it. It's just maximum punish for keeping a one lander that can happen against. That could have happened against any deck that has Wasteland in it, basically, and I would have lost the same way. But I mean, obviously, once the like, if it wasn't the Frog, like, let's say it was up against Maverick or something, and they had a Knight of the Reliquary online, and I just still hadn't found another land, then I would probably also feel like I had lost. So yeah, it is what it is. But I thought, like, I really enjoy more and more so. I would say I enjoy playing like tempo strategies every now and again. I feel like it's a whole like different type of Magic games that you get from playing combo. I still am a combo, you know, combo dude at heart, but I really do like challenging myself with these types of decks, and I do think it's a very different, like, maybe, I don't know, set of skills of the, I don't know, but like it does ask you to make other like decisions based on other metrics or other sort of along other axes than when you're playing Doomsday, and I am probably like fumbling my way around here, and I like I had some incredibly close matches. It was very very fun, and cool. So I once grief goes, I would probably imagine this deck here, this type of some build that has Psychic Frog and Dragon Trace Chandler in it would like float to the top of the format, but who knows? Maybe Eldrazi is gonna just dominate. I don't know. But I'm definitely gonna keep at it, keep playing this and other like probably mostly Doomsday, but other Legacy decks as well. And we'll see what happens at the end of August. All right, that's it for me. Thanks so much for watching. Do the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It really helps out. And I'll be back with some more Legacy. Bye bye.